In Libya, 6 people have been killed and at least 4 others injured in renewed fighting in the capital, Tripoli. This week's fighting comes after the Libyan Prime Minister announced plans for new security arrangements in the capital. A power distributor was also hit during the clashes, knocking out electricity supplies to large parts of western and southern Libya. The UN mission has urged the armed groups to cease hostilities, saying it will hold their leaders accountable for any civilians affected. Meanwhile, hundreds of civilians are stranded after Tripoli's only functioning Mitiga airport was shut down due to rockets fired in its direction. Flights and passengers were rerouted to Misrata, the only working airfield in the North African country's western region. According to the head of their media center, the airport's management and staff are struggling to handle the resulting flow of thousands of passengers. Mitiga Airport shut down 5 days after flights had resumed, following a previous shutdown forced by fighting among rival armed groups. In Rwanda, opposition candidates can now be represented in parliament for the first time ever. Just recently, President Paul Kagame pardoned thousands of prisoners, including a key opposition figure. Political analysts say this new development could help broaden political discussions and improve the country's democracy.
Opposition candidates have won seats in the Rwandan parliament for the first time since 1994. Although the 2 new lawmakers will be heavily outnumbered by members of President Paul Kagame's ruling party. The ruling Rwandan Patriotic Front, RPF, declared the results of Monday's parliamentary election as proof that the country is a democracy. Overseeing a swearing-in ceremony for members of parliament, Mr. Kagame welcomed the newcomers.
There is Green Party. There is PS in Berakuri. They are new here. They are new to this kind of leadership. They can now continue doing the work that they used to do outside of Parliament, but they will now continue to do it within Parliament, as well as work with others to achieve more. That's a great first step.
One of the new opposition lawmakers says their low numbers mean pressing for democratization would be a long process.
Very important because it's the first time the Democratic Party of Rwanda enters Parliament. It's also the first time an opposition party enters into Rwandan Parliament. I mean, we have had 3 main parties that have been in Parliament. That is the RPF coalition with Liberal Party and PS, the Social Democrats. So this is the first time that we have an opposition party in Parliament. So it's very important, not just for me and my party, but also for the Republic of Rwanda. I mean, this is since 1994, so it's a big achievement. It's a key milestone for the Republic of Rwanda.
The release last week of more than 2,000 prisoners, including opposition figure Victoria Ingabire, and musician Kizito Mihigo, is seen by some people as a signal of widening political space, while others says it's prompted by foreign pressure. A political analyst in Kigali says the opposition members in parliament could help broaden political discussion in the country.
If they are coming just to be there for the sake of being there, I don't think we'll see changes. So let's see them in the perspective of bringing new ideas, new perspective, new way of doing things, and we'll see the change.
Rwanda's parliament has 80 seats. Political parties compete for 53 seats, and another 24 are reserved for women, 2 for the youth, and 1 for the disabled. President Kagame has been praised for restoring stability in Rwanda and for rapid economic progress after the 1994 genocide.
Uganda's opposition politician Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobby Wine, says the citizens of the country must continue to work urgently towards redemption. He was saying this at his home after returning yesterday from the United States. Upon his return, he was greeted by hundreds of his supporters who waited at his home. He further stated that the citizens have become slaves in the country, but his desire is for Ugandans to be free from the government of President Yoweri Museveni.
Right now, we are actually slaves in our own country. We cannot speak freely. We cannot even wave to each other freely. You know, my brothers and sisters were arrested coming to pick me from the airport. My closest friend and fellow artist was arrested coming to pick me. You know, I was arrested for just being a friend to many people. So if we have such impunity, we must think about that impunity and how to deal with. Then the rest will take care of itself. Again, I'm always reminded that it's not about me. Maybe I happen to show up at a time when people wanted their freedom and they wanted it bad enough.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced an eagerly awaited stimulus package for the country's economy. The 50 billion rand package will include the new mining charter, far-reaching changes to tourist regulations, an infrastructure investment plan, and the development of industrial parks and township businesses, among other things. Mr. Ramaphosa admits that for several years the economy has not grown at the pace needed to create enough jobs.
To reduce the cost of doing business and to boost exports and to make South Africa industry more competitive, government has begun a review of various administrative prices, starting with electricity, ports and rail tariffs. These have been raised as matters of great concern by a number of players. We are now beginning the process of looking at all these. Within the next few weeks, government will initiate the process for the allocation of high-demand radio spectrum to enable licensing. This will unlock significant value in the telecommunications sector. It will also increase competition, promote investment, and reduce data costs. Lower data costs will also provide relief for poor households, for students, and increase the overall competitiveness of the South African economy. Other measures that we will implement include expanding procurement from small businesses and cooperative, as well as using trade measures.
Still to come on the program. Would you rather drive your car or would you let your car drive you? Don't answer just yet. That's after break. Please stay with us.